Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Flash Talks, a very different edition tonight, and it's the first live one I've done in a while. And as you can see, it is a bit different because I have somebody with me. For the first time ever on Flash Talks, I have a guest, and I'm quite intrigued to do this one. This is something very personal to both of us. And obviously, you're used to me laughing, joking, having meltdowns about all sorts of nonsense. But tonight, it's none of that. It's a bit more raw, a bit more personal to. We are going to go into detail about what it's a challenge this month to. Well, I might as well move the floor over to you, Jill.
Okay, I am doing a challenge of walking or running or whatever you want to do, 100 miles in October, the whole of October. And so far,
she's already smashing it. I mean, we're on the 9th of October. She has until the 31st. What are you up to now?
nearly 60 miles.
She's going to smash it.
Yeah, I've got to go right up until 31st though, so I will go over. And I've got so basically I've got to see how many miles I can do until the 31st of October.
If she woke up in the morning with no legs, she'd still find a way of completing it. So yeah, and so we've covered what you're doing, what the challenge is, but what's it for, and if you could tell us a bit more about the overall organisation that you're raising money for.
I am doing it for the National Autistic Society, which is very close to mine and Chris's heart. And I'm doing it for all the children, the teenagers and adults who are autistic out there. I am spreading awareness, and they are trying to raise as many funds as they can to provide more help and more teaching or training for teachers in schools to help them produce and basically help them help kids with SEND children flourish and prioritize their mental well-being and try and get them the help they deserve, not in just mainstream but into special needs schools as well.
So would you say personally, and would you think, obviously you can't speak on behalf of the charity because you don't work for them, you just raise money for them, but would you say personally that that is something that is lacking within the education system?
Yes.
Across both, as you just said, both sets of schools, mainstream and special provision?
Unfortunately, teachers, they're overprescribed, they're overworked, underpaid, everything, and there's just not enough training for autistic, ADHD, PDA, Down syndrome, everything going. There's not enough training for them in mainstream schools. That's why so many parents fight for an EHCP, which is an educational health and care plan, to put together for the child to go to a special needs school to get them the help but they're overscribed. There's just no spaces in SEND schools. There's no, you either have to have a diagnosis or they have to try and meet needs, or there's just, there's nowhere for children to go today. The schools are bursting. All the special needs schools in West Sussex, Surrey, all over the country are bursting because mainstream schools can't cope with the volume of challenge behaviour, I'm going to say, challenge behaviour and behavioural issues that special educational needs children have, which is not their fault. They just need the right help and support in school to calm them down and get to meet needs. That's basically it. And then this is why I'm doing this challenge, to help try and raise funds for them to go into schools and get them the right training. I don't know how many hours, but for the Senkos, the special educational needs team, and they are head teachers and deputy head teachers, just to get them the right, because there's so much out there now, so much. New one, Pika, where children eat, non-edible items, but it's not their fault. It's just their brains telling them to do it because they're craving something, because their needs are not being met. So there needs to be a lot more training for all these different types of additional needs that these kids have, and that's what they're trying to do.
So you covered a lot there. Trying to break it down for, obviously, a lot, and I'm in the household, so I'm having to relive it every day. Cover that actually to start with. I don't think we mentioned it at the start, but we are parents to autistic and ADHD children. You mentioned, I think a lot of people will know, most people will know nowadays about autism. Can you give maybe a brief summary to those that aren't aware of autism and ADHD? And you also mentioned PDA. We'll start with PDA. What does that stand for?
PDA stands for pathological demand avoidance. Now, that is a type of autistic. That is the anxiety part of autism. So in their brains, it's triggering their brains. So the more anxiety and the more demands. Now, demand is simple. Demand is clean your teeth, put your shoes on, go and put a coat on, go and get dressed, eat dinner, have a drink. Now, with a PDA child, the brain stops in the morning. If you wake up and you've got so much anxiety, your brain just halts and shuts down. It's what they call a shutdown. Your brain just doesn't work, and it's not their fault. It's just the way the anxiety just kicks in, and they can't do it. They don't know why. It's just such a simple thing, but they just can't do it. And because it's just a simple thing like clean teeth, the panic starts in because it's logistic. Everyone needs to clean their teeth. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody, needs to get dressed and have a drink. But they are so anxious. It's a lack of control. It's more control. They need to know in their brain, right, I've got control of this. I will eat when I want to eat. I think I'm feeling hungry, but I will eat when I want to eat. I think I'm thirsty, but I'll drink when I want to drink. So because their brain is telling them, and it's taking over the whole of their brain, it's quite anxiety and panic. And that's what causes a shutdown, because they're just lost control of their body and lost control of their mind. Their brain takes over. And the only way to calm that is by sensory. It's a sensory overload. You need a sensory toolkit, or you need to go and stim, which is an autistic trait. That's what the triadic impairments mean. That's why somebody's diagnosed with autistic, because they have the 3 triad of impairments.
Yeah, I was just going to say, can you explain the triad of impairment?
Yes, it's a repetitive movement. So somebody that rocks constantly, or our son does that, flicks constantly. Our eldest
is stimulating, and to me and Jill, it probably makes no sense to us, but to him, it's his way of just getting it all out and then coming back down.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's processing. That is what stimulate. Well, there's loads of ways of saying stimulation. Stimuli, stimulation, arousal of the brain. It's just basically the brain calming down. It takes about 20 minutes, not even that sometimes. Or sometimes if they're so anxious, it can take all morning. And it calms them down to get focused and processed. Actually, right, that's my next task. I can do this, I will do this, and then my next task is doing that task. So from like, I don't know, I'll clean my teeth after I've had my breakfast. You know, things like that. So the stimulation of the brain and calming it down can let them focus and process on the next task.
Okay, so
the other ones for the triage of impairments were social and emotional regulation and interaction. So autistic children, teenagers, people, adults, anybody who's autistic struggle with family socializations, parties, going out to crowds. They struggle with that, too sensory for them. Going out to supermarkets, too much, things like that. That's one. And also social interaction is another one, which is they can't interact. I can't say normally. They can't interact with their peers. So autistic people like to make noise. Their communication, sometimes they're non-verbal, or they use pet cards, which is little cards that either has pictures on it or letters on it, or they use Makaton or British Sign Language, things like that. That's the 3 triad of impairments.
okay, thank you for explaining that and breaking it down. How's your legs feeling so far into this challenge?
Achy. My front of my legs are hurting, the shooting pain when I walk. It's unbearable at the moment.
Now, obviously, some of you may know Jill, some of you may not know Jill. I can tell you firsthand, she's a very active woman. She is always on the go, and part of the reasons behind this are going into the background as well. We've discussed our children a little bit. Jill herself, I'm sure you don't mind me saying, is probably has ADHD herself. I probably have autism. Neither of us are diagnosed. We will get diagnosed one day. It's a long waiting list, as I'm sure a lot of people will know. And what I want from this video is for people to interact with it. If you can, comment, let me know, or if you don't want to comment in the video, message me privately and see if it's helped you. And I'm sure you'll be seeing that Jill's full of knowledge, and if there's anything you want to know to pick her brains out, then I'm sure we'll be able to sort that for you. Jill, what else have you got to bring to the table?
Right, well, I'm doing this challenge basically for our eldest. Now, I'm doing this challenge because there's not the help out there, because of the system. I love the government. Anyway, because the system is so stretched, and because there's not enough funding in the system to help these children. Now, our eldest has a massive mental health breakdown because he hasn't had the support, and I've been fighting since he was 18 months old. I'm doing this for him. He suffered so much. He's not in school. He's out of school, and that's because he hasn't got a diagnosis. And that is because the system has let him down so badly. Like so many others, I know so many others. I'm a family support worker for SEND families myself, and I know loads of clients that are in exactly the same situation as me. And you are very lucky to get into a special needs school. Very lucky. I fighted for our youngest son to get in there. The mainstream school said no. So I battled with the school. and said he deserves it because you haven't got the right help, the right support. You keep expelling him and suspending him. So I need a school that can deal with him. And in an EHCP, an Educational Health and Care Plan, you have 3 colours, which is green, which is they have met need. Orange, they're staying on float. And red means they can't meet needs. They're behind, they're not flourishing, they're not learning, so their phonics, maths, anything.
Are you meaning when you say they can't meet need, are you saying the school itself, the setting itself,
Yes.
can't meet the child's need?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's what I'm meaning. So when I fighted for it, Riley's EHCP was all red. And now he's gone into a school where it's all green. And that was in 6 months. That just shows you that he needed a special educational setting that could meet needs, and now he's flourishing. Now, our eldest, because of the no diagnosis and because of his behavioural, because he's not got the help that he needs for so many years, and we need to find an OT, which is an occupational therapist. His sensory overload is just, continuously overloaded. He's overstimulated all the time. And, because I don't know his sensory needs, like all of us parents, we're all like, well, how do we help them? We try everything in our power to help them. And because we don't know them, sometimes parents have to go private. And it looks like we might have to go down that road because there's just no help. So that's why I'm doing it, because our son is at breaking point and he needs the help, and we need to get the funds for these teenagers and children and adults to get the help and the right support they need. So you
covered that any money raised by the charity will help towards the teaching element in schools.
Yeah, there's going to cover a load of things. They're going to
probably more than me or Jill could remember. If you check out
family support, I know they're going to try and do more help with families, like daycares. I have heard that on one of the because I'm on the National Autistic 100 miles, and they keep on popping up saying that's what us families need, a bit of support and a bit of respite, things like that. So that's what they want to try and do this if they get enough funding.
Yeah, exactly that. If there is anything else you want to know with regards to the challenge, they have a Facebook page, and I think they've got a website as well, haven't they?
Yep.
The National Autistic Society. If you just whack them into Google, you'll be able to find out everything you need to know about the challenge and about their organisation altogether. Like I say, neither of us work for them. We're just raising money for them to hopefully get families like us help, families like you. Hopefully there's mums and dads watching this. And anything else you want to bring to the table, Jill?
I don't know. Is there anything else?
She's done a me. If anyone's used to my channel, she's made a load of notes. So we, if you are able to, it would be much appreciated if you can obviously watch through this video. I hope you found it interesting and knowledgeable to really grow your mind on what autism is. And this lady right here has, not through choice, kind of had to learn so much on what it's all about and how she can support her children and
our children.
Sorry, got my interview ahead on now. I'm thinking I don't know you. And she and all of us will carry on learning. I'm sure there will always be new stuff out there and new understanding coming, and I have personally noticed a change in acceptance for autism. I think around COVID, when we had the lanyards come out, people were a bit more understanding, and that opened things up a bit more. I've definitely noticed an improvement, but we have got a long way to go to get family support. Like with any charity organisation that's out there, these companies are raising money due to a lack of government funding. It's always been the story, it always will be. So to be able to, if you can, get involved with the video, please interact, share it, to spread this word that Jill's doing this amazing job this month to raise this charity all the money we can get them. If you can give any money at all, I will leave a comment in the description below of how to donate towards Jill's challenge, and it will be very much appreciated. She's heading towards her target now. Obviously, I've already said she's gonna smash the 100-mile challenge. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up doing God knows how many miles by the end of this month. But she will also, it's all going to be there for you if you head over there and donate. That would be amazing. Anything that you can give. We obviously know it's the cost of living crisis and people don't have money, so money is much appreciated. Anything else to add, Jill?
Don't think so.
No. Well, that's it.
Is there anything else for you to add?
Anything for me to add? Like,
it would be lovely to get some help. It'd be lovely for families like us, and it'd be lovely to share away, because there's loads of people that still don't know. There's loads of people like there's loads of charities out there like the Reaching Families. That's a great charity. If you're just in the start of it, you know, that's a really good charity to get your help. And like me, I help mums do DLA forms, which is disability living allowance. They, you know, to get your child help, you know, that gives you a bit of money each month just to support your child. That's what I help mums with, and just getting the children the right help in the right settings. It is a massive fight.
Everything is. Everything
is just,
like you just said, DLA, like you say, the EHCP. Everything is a long process, and it just drags on and on and on. Yeah. And you have charities like that up and down the country will be there to help families out, but for only so far.
Yeah,
getting this money raised will really help.
Go on the local offer on your town.
There you go. Told you knowledge. Local offer on your town.
And if you also sign up for the disability register for all the libraries,
if you are subscribed to the channel, you'll know I've been doing this about a year now, and I've only been doing this because it's something for me to do in my spare time. I think I covered it in the early days, but I quit my career to come out of it to help Jill, to raise the children, and to take some of the demand off of Jill with one of our children, or two. Obviously, we have 4 children, and 3, possibly 4, at our sen. And as she just said about physical help, it doesn't exist. And there was me thinking, I come out of work, it will answer all our problems. Unfortunately, it hasn't. There's still a lot that could be done, and we know of people who are struggling just like us. We've heard of people that have got the help and are very lucky to have that help, and we want this issue to be, everybody wants everything to be resolved, and we know it doesn't just work like that. There's a fight in this, and we're just saying that our kids and all the kids of this country with autism, ADHD, PDA, everything,
all disabilities
in the rainbow for disabilities, need help.
Yeah,
there's still so much more that can be done.
Yeah. And I like the way people go, oh, what about your mental health? And oh, it must be so hard for you. And yes, it is hard, but we got to, like I keep saying to my clients, and of course, our youngest son's in a specialist school, we all say exactly the same thing. We are all drained and we're all exhausted, and we love the help from the system. And because the system has cut a load of funding, our kids are missing out. And not just kids, adults, they're missing out on their days out with their carers. Carers just get pittance a week for what we do a week, every day and night. So I know, you're not alone, mums. You're not alone. We all have the same problems. We all are, all exhausted. We're all burnt out, and it's just battling a broken system that needs to change. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for our son because, yeah, he's broken and he's had no help, and I'm continuously fighting for him. And so if you can, please, just donate or sponsor me in some way just to help, people like my son, because, waiting lists are 3 to 4 years now. And it's just mental health has gone through the roof.
Mm-hmm. It's, of course, you probably hear about it all the time in the news. Mental health is, I want to use the right word, but it's almost like a pandemic. It's a real issue now in this country, that it's, no matter who you are in society, there is an issue with it, and it needs to be tackled. But the trouble is, our governments don't seem to know how to tackle it.
No.
They'll throw money into whatever and think that that's the answer, but it's not. So there's a long way to go, and by donating to charities like this, it's gonna flipping help. So yeah, give what you can, folks. If you can, it'd be really much appreciated.
Another thing,
She's coming up with the final points now.
as my husband's in yellow.
Oh yes, yellow.
Young Minds are doing a child, teenage and adult mental health day. Now, this is a prevention of suicide in children. Now, because of what I work in, unfortunately, it's quite high in children. And I know a couple that have, been suicidal. So tomorrow for Young Minds, just all you need to do is donate £1. Donate £1 to Young Minds, wear yellow, into support of children and teenagers and young adults, just to support them. And they can go to Young Minds or go to see a counsellor like Samaritans, of course, Young Minds, and there's another one I can't think right now off the top of my head. But my son being autistic, he won't talk, and he'll just, as soon as you mention mental health, he just shuts down. Like speaking to his paediatrician, he just shuts down. No, that's it. He won't engage at all. And unfortunately, our son has tried a couple of times. So that's another reason why I'm doing 100 miles for Autistic Society, National Autistic Society, because he hasn't had the help of mental health. You get so frustrated, or they get so frustrated, and sometimes the brain tells you to, unfortunately, have suicidal thoughts and mental health breakdowns. So yes, it's a massive, if you can wear yellow and donate £1, it would really
goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
It's been quite nice as well to see with tomorrow. Obviously, we as a family have been getting involved with it. Each of the schools are joining in as well. So it's
emailing them.
We're back to She was on a mission.
I'm on a mission.
It's nice because when we grew up as kids, we had Children in Need and Red Nose Day. Obviously, both great things as well. But that was it. And now it shouldn't be this way, but we're starting to notice more and more charity days, whether it be raise money for food banks or food donations, or do
Harvest Festival, yeah.
harvest festivals at the moment, or this Young Minds and things like that. It's like I just said, it shouldn't happen, but it is happening, and more needs to be done by the ordinary folk, unfortunately, because nobody's hearing the message. And it needs to be sorted.
I think it's just overprescribed.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. There's too many children out there that need the help, so they're overprescribed. Not enough ed psychs, which is a doctor at CAMS that can diagnose you. So we've had to go through Right to Choose, which is another way of getting help through the NHS. That's what we're doing now. But there's, like I said, there's so many ways you can private. Well, there's actually only 3 now. There's CAMS, Right to Choose, or private to get the help.
Yeah. So it's a minefield.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, please do comment on the video. Please do share it, spread the word on it. It's a very important cause. It's important to both of us, and I'm sure to many of you as well. We need to raise the awareness, and I just thought, it was just today, I just said to Jill, how about do a video on my channel? Just why not? Let's get out there, spread the word. It's another way of doing it. So yeah, so please like it, please share it, please comment, please subscribe to the channel. That's always much appreciated. And most importantly, give what you can to Jill. I'm going to leave all the information in the comments so you can head on over there. Not unless you've got a note there of how you donate.
No. Okay, you need to go to Facebook, unfortunately.
So through Facebook, if you know Jill personally,
or Chris,
or me, it's weird her calling me Chris. I'm just known as Flash on here. But yeah, it's
if you know Flash on Facebook.
So either of our Facebooks, I'm sharing it every day, promoting Jill's challenge. So please, it will be. Thank you, everybody.